But let's go to our weather team coverage continues. Let's go out to Denise Roche with more on how flood control projects are working to keep us safe. Denise?
Yeah, Bill, those isolated storms this morning were certainly manageable. All of our detention basins around the valley did their job. And this right here is one of the handful of flood control projects now underway in Clark County. It's a big one. It won't wrap up until 2024, but nearby business owners are trying to stay patient.
Whenever it rains, it just runs down Charleston pretty good, so it's typical.
David Bowe knows it's necessary.
I'm sure they need to do it.
The flood control project underway directly in front of his business at Charleston and Eastern. For more than 25 years, Hubcap Annie has been helping customers get back on the road. But lately, just pulling into the parking lot has been a challenge. The entire intersection, one big cone zone.
We can't wait for them to be gone. They've been here they put up the guardrails about a year ago, last October, and they've been here ever since. So we're looking forward to them finishing this phase of it.
And this $50 million project is just one of 8 now underway for the Regional Flood Control District. General Manager Stephen Parrish.
A lot of times Mother Nature has a way of pointing out to us where we have problems still, and this was one of them. Over the whole course of the summer, the monsoon season, we saw a lot of water running down Charleston in this area. So this box is really designed to collect all that water and get it underground and keep the road more drivable.
Wednesday morning, minor flooding once again shut down a portion of the Link Garage as water flowed into the Flamingo Wash. But Parrish says detention basins and flood channels throughout the valley did their job.
We have built 104 detention basins and 677 miles of channels. So over the last 3 decades, we've put in over $2 billion worth of flood control.
And he says more is definitely coming.
We know where problems are. We can't build everything all at once, so we try to prioritize our projects and utilize our money in the best way we can, get the projects that are most needed built first.
As for Bowe,
It's been a little bit slower. It's hard to tell if it's the construction or just the economy in general.
he knows construction at his intersection will take another year, but he understands there's always a bright side.
But it does slow people down so they see our store probably a little bit better.
Powerful story here. Fate brought them together. A very powerful personal connection made them friends.
As we look back on 5 years since the horrific night of 1 October, we'd like to share some of the stories of those who lived through our city's darkest night, including the state police trooper, the concert goer as well, who says he saved her life. Here's News 3's Denise Roche.
This way. Go. That way.
The words can seem so trivial. Chaos, panic, confusion.
Are you injured?
No, but there's 100 people hurt on the ground bleeding out.
For those who were there, October 1st, 2017 was nothing short of hell on earth. The Route 91 Music Festival on Las Vegas Boulevard, becoming the deadliest mass shooting in U.S. history. The night fate brought 2 strangers together.
We were super excited because it was Jason Aldean night.
Just to get out and enjoy a nice long weekend of country music that we love.
I'd heard like a crackling kind of noise.
We started realizing there's some sort of shooting going on.
Nevada State Police Sergeant Adam Whitmarsh was off duty that night, attending the concert with his wife and sister-in-law when he heard gunfire. After rushing the women to safety, he went back, heading straight to a medical tent on festival grounds.
Doing this job long enough, we call it looking for work. You can either be stop the killing or stop the dying. Well, being off duty, I can't stop the killing. I can't stop the subject from doing what these atrocious acts that he's doing. But I can stop the dying. So I want to go back in and help where I could.
And that's where he met Monica Hamill, a single mother who had just moved to Las Vegas.
And I heard all the bullets going by. Like it sounded kind of like slow motion, like you could hear just flying, like a wind, like a whooshing sound or something.
She was shot twice. Once in the arm, once in the leg.
So I thought like I was just gonna bleed out and die.
But Whitmarsh had other ideas, placing 2 tourniquets on Hamill and starting an IV. Most importantly, keeping her calm.
And that was his big thing. He was like, I'm gonna get you home to your son. Like, you don't worry. Because I'm like, I'm gonna die here. And he's like, no, you're not.
As Whitmarsh attended to other victims that night, Hamill was transported to Desert Springs Hospital, and their story could have ended there. But Hamill could not forget the man she credits with saving her life, and a few months later, she found him online. They've been friends ever since.
There was this Find My Heroes page on Facebook, and I got a random message from her saying, "Hey, I think you're my hero."
5 years later, life has changed. Whitmarsh was named Trooper of the Year in 2017 for the Mountain Pacific region for his actions on 1 October. He and his wife have had 2 children, while Hamill also got married and welcomed her second child. Every 4th of July, she attends his family barbecue.
It's like this crazy cool feeling that I get to, be invited into his home and be a part of his family.
And while the scars and memories remain,
I can't drive past Mandalay Bay without looking right.
both have moved on. The night of the shooting was Whitmarsh's first wedding anniversary.
So we find ways to take our day back by getting out of town or doing something.
But it's that passion for helping others, stepping up on our city's worst night, that still leaves Hamill in awe.
That's why you wear this badge. It's not just when you're on duty. I feel like you wear it in your heart.
Welcome back. Sometimes it takes a tragedy to light a fire. That's the connection between the 1 October shooting and the rise of the new state-of-the-art Joint Emergency Training Institute for First Responders.
That story tonight from News 3's Steve Wolford.
It wasn't really that long ago that the Joint Emergency Training Institute was a dream, something that might be 10 or 20 years down the road. But that road crossed paths with the Route 91 Harvest Festival, and everything changed.
When you think of things, if this was a regular project, we'd still be standing in a dirt lot.
But Metro Captain Reggie Rader says the Joint Emergency Training Institute is not a regular project. It quickly came about after the worst mass casualty shooting in U.S. history, 1 October, 5 years ago this Saturday.
I do think that was the catalyst to get all of the people together, to get the private funding, the support that we needed to be able to get this facility fast-tracked and up and running.
So the police department had plans for a long time to build a new training facility like this.
Finding that private funding for this state-of-the-art reality-based training facility fell to the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department Foundation and Executive Director Tom Kovac. He says the idea began under Sheriff Doug Gillespie, then passed to Sheriff Joe Lombardo. But there was a new sense of urgency in the days following the 1 October shooting.
We had a conversation with a few potential major donors. One of them was the Las Vegas Golden Knights, and they ultimately made a major commitment during the pre-game ceremony of their first home game, which happened to be several days after 1 October in 2017.
The $1 million from the Golden Knights was soon followed by another $8 million from the Engelstad Foundation, with a grand total of $25 million in private donations and $3 million in federal money to build Phase 1. And marking important milestones in the construction was no coincidence.
Once we had the necessary permitting and everything we needed to do to begin construction, it did align quite appropriately with 1 October 2020. 12 months later, we held a ribbon cutting ceremony on the same day, 1 October 2021.
In the next phase, first responders can start training in a huge indoor facility that will let them recreate virtually any scenario, including one similar to the 1 October shooting. Of course, nobody ever wants to see that happen again, but to protect the citizens of Las Vegas, Metro says the Joint Emergency Training Institute will allow them to train for it. In the newsroom, Steve Wolford, News 3.
News 3 will honor the lives lost, the survivors, and the heroes of that fateful night. 5 Years Stronger, a News 3 1 October special airs Friday night here at 7, right here on News 3.
Hi everybody, I'm Reed Cowan from News 3 Las Vegas. We want to thank you for checking out our YouTube channel. Remember, you can always see more of our videos by clicking on the video links. And also don't forget to click that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any of our YouTube updates. Thanks for watching.